What's up, guys? Not Emily this time, I promise. I'm actually Gwen Stacy. I'm from Universe 0714. It's a great universe, one of my favorite universes that I've been to. Yes, I've traveled across many universes, and I actually landed on this one to guest star on Azura Media Club. I don't have the mask on, because obviously in this universe, you guys already know that Gwen Stacy is Spider-Gwen. Although that name kind of gives it away, but obviously I go by Spider-Woman most of the time. And also, for those of you wondering, yes, this is canon, so that's fair enough. Anyways, I'm here today to talk about not a Spider-Man movie. You would think it would be a Spider-Man movie, right? Well, it's not a Spider-Man movie at all. Emily's out there passing out candy or whatever to the kids. You know, it's Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone. But I'm actually here to talk about Zombieland. Now, why Zombieland? Well, Emily kind of mentioned it a couple times in some of her videos for the Azura Media Club. I guess that makes me the Coven leader today. So subscribe to the Bad Girl Coven right now. Go subscribe to Emmy NES, Emily's other channel. I mean, that's always fun, right? You wanna watch all of her videos. But fun fact about this movie, actually, the girl who plays Wichita, Emma Stone, actually played me, alternate universe me, in one of the cinematic universes of Spider-Man as Gwen Stacy, who's me, but not me because I'm also from a different universe. Isn't multiverse stuff fun? So that's me. I'm Gwen Stacy. We're gonna do this. We're gonna review Zombieland. It's a comedy, you know. I came here from my other universe. As you can see, I've got my nice little universe traveling device there. I don't know what it's called. I just know what it does, you know? Hobie Brown gave me that in my universe. Not the same one from the movie. I know you guys all know my identity from the movie, and from these comic books, which are apparently about me. In my universe, it's just the true story of Spider-Gwen, so, or Spider-Woman, as it is, but these kind of give away the fact that it's me, so, that's kind of why I'm not doing the whole mask right now. I could do it, but it's also challenging. Anyway, you like my costume? It's not really a costume, it's, you know, it's my uniform for going around. Emily's like this friggin' girl on this book or something. I guess she's Marinette, just a normal girl with a normal life. That's what Emily's going as this Halloween. She's not really into Halloween as much, but, you know, Gwen Stacy, of course I'm into Halloween. Like, I love Halloween, so. Zombieland, yeah! Oh, and I've got candy here, too. That's great, isn't it? So we're talking about Zombieland. It's a great comedy. Back in the day, this is, you know, and Emily had some thoughts on the movie as well. So I want to relay some of her thoughts, and I want to relay some of my thoughts. I'm going to review the movie, but she had some back in the days to put in here. She remembers that this was right around the time when she was just starting to be able to see R-rated movies. That was kind of exactly around then. But the whole thing was that she needed, like, a form of license to show, but she had left her license elsewhere. Very scary thing, and didn't know where it was, and she had to go back home and search for it for a bunch of times. And then, by the time she finally figured all of that out, her friend Jameson didn't want to go to the movie with them, so her and John Black, I believe his name is, went to the movie and had a great time with it, apparently. Now, in my universe, we don't have this movie, so this is my first time actually watching this movie, and it's great. And it's interesting that this lady was once played me too, so I just thought that was fun. I thought that was a fun fact, this Wichita lady. Anyway, Jesse Eisenberg, he's a big star in our world too, and so is Emma Stone, but she never did play me in our world of 0714 there. But in this world, they're huge, you know, and I mean, they made this movie, this Zombieland movie. It's weird that we never got this movie. I wonder why that is. But multiverses and stuff, you know. So anyway, let's review Zombieland. Let's talk about it. It's a great movie. It's a great comedy. It's got some horror elements to it. It's also got some action moments in there. Especially like the ending when they're at the Pacific Playland. Spoilers for Zombieland, by the way. There's definitely some good action in there, some good gun scenes and whatnot. Killing the zombies. I definitely like at the end there where Tallahassee like distracts all of the zombies basically, or most of the zombies, and he goes into this like this one, you know, like fences himself off from the zombies, and just like they all horde in on him, and it's like playing this music, and it's like this really, oh my god, like he's gonna like sacrifice himself kind of music, and you know, like everything's not necessarily working out for the protagonists, all the protagonists, and you see them all in like these perilous circumstances, and you really feel it, you know. It's a very emotional beat to the movie, but then, you know, they make it through, and it's nice and it's satisfying, and you're like, you breathe a sigh of relief. It's good movie making in that regard. I like going back to kind of the beginning, Columbus kind of introduces us, you know, Jesse Eisenberg character, Columbus there, kind of introduces us to this world, and he's telling us all about Zombieland, and then he starts telling us about his rules that he has, like cardio is rule number 1, there's like double tap is like rule number 7 or something, which means like, you know, you gotta shoot the zombie twice basically, which is a good rule of thumb. I would feel like if I was in the zombie apocalypse, I would definitely be doing that rule. So, yeah, just a bunch of rules like that. There's like, don't be a hero, which he has to break, and he fucking hates clowns, and so, there's a clown at the end that he has to kill, kind of thing, so, stuff like that. Limber up was one of the rules. Always wear your seatbelts was one of them. Bunch of good rules like that, you know. I don't know if these would be really actually good rules in a zombie apocalypse, but hopefully we'll never have to find out. Or maybe, hopefully we do. That would be kind of a cool end of the world scenario. Much better than like 2020's end of the world, like, could have been scenario, you know. Glad it wasn't, but, you know, like, sure could have been. Anyway, we got the lame kind of pandemic there, I suppose. You know, but, like, I don't really want a zombie apocalypse either. That's kind of a crazy thing to wish for, right? That's definitely something you don't want in terms of, like, an end of the world scenario. But the world's gotta end somehow, so, I mean, maybe. What else? So, yeah, so he's got this list of rules, and he's always, you know, running around trying to, get away from these zombies and whatnot. That's a zombie movie for you, right? At one point we kind of get his backstory about how he was like this nerd and he never really wanted to connect with people and whatnot. He would play World of Warcraft all the time and whatnot, and drink Mountain Dew Code Red and Teddy Grahams and pizza boxes and all of this. And then, like, his hot neighbor comes by, 406, and she's all like, oh my god, this guy tried to bite me, this, like, homeless guy. And then, you know, he's all elated because he's, like, sitting there. She's, like, in his arm, and he wants to brush the hair over her ear, and that's all he's ever wanted to do with a girl and all this, and, like, have a nice girl to take home to mom and dad. And he doesn't get that with 406 because she turns into a zombie and tries to fucking get him, and this is where he starts learning some of the basic rules like double tap and whatnot, which is great. So, man, this song just goes on, doesn't it? How long is this? This is like a really long... Oh, it's like 6 minutes long. No shit. Okay. Anyway. So, yeah, that's where he starts, like, learning a lot of the, learning a lot of his, like, rules. Starts making up a bunch of them, you know, at that point. So... we have this character, Tallahassee, who he runs into early in the movie. They're all kind of based on their names of where they're going. They don't have their actual names. I think, what's-her-face? Wichita says her actual name at the end, but, like, I don't remember what it is. So, yeah. but it's like Tallahassee and Columbus. They're the ones who run into each other first. They're like in a standoff where they're like they've got their shotguns pointed at each other, and then they're like, he's like, and he's like, get it, like he's like does that, and then they just have a bunch of iconic. This movie has a bunch of iconic lines. It has a bunch of iconic jokes and whatnot, and I think a lot of that kind of is why it's so memorable. He's like, you're a peppy little spit fuck, aren't you? He's looking for a Twinkie the whole time. He's just like, I want my goddamn Twinkie, and all that stuff, and the coconut, it's not, I don't hate the taste. It's just the consistency. Like, I always go back to that one. There's a bunch of lines like that in this movie that I'm probably not remembering like all the most iconic ones, but I'll just quote them to myself sometimes, or I'll think about scenes from this movie, and those kind of come up. A lot of them are from Tallahassee, but some of them are from like Jesse Eisenberg, like Columbus and whatnot. So, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of about him being a loner, and then he just really wants to find a family, and he finally does by the end of the movie. That's kind of nice. So there's like some nice little emotional things in there too. Not that it's like super like, oh my god, intense, but there are some good moments to that kind of stuff. Like, one of them, like a good emotional beat is like Tallahassee had like lost his son, and at first he like says it to Columbus like, oh, I lost my pup, and the zombies got him or whatever. But you can also, he's obviously substituting that for like the real deal there, and he realizes it later on when they're at Bill Murray's house. Yeah, they go to Bill Murray's house in this movie, and Bill Murray's in this movie for a minute, but he kills, like, Columbus shoots him by accident or whatever. That actually becomes like a plot point in the second one too, where she's like, oh, somebody Murrayed him or whatever. That's like the line that they make up, like later on. So, about it. Yeah, but I mean, like, I mean, and I'm not gonna like go through the entire movie. There's like a lot of good comedic moments. Eventually, they like end up in this grocery store because they're looking for a Twinkie, and I believe this is actually where there was a box of Twinkies like in the background or something, but he's like distracted by the zombies like to fight them, so he doesn't see the Twinkies or whatever. Anyway, it's like a nice little Easter egg. So they run into Wichita and Little Rock, they're sisters. They basically scam them by like pretending that Little Rock is like infected and she's gonna die, and they need the shotgun. So they take their shotgun, and then like they take all of their stuff, like their car and whatever, and like there's a great line in there where he's like, the first great woman that I've seen in a long time shows up and tells me I'm the one that can't be trusted. Steals all of our stuff and tells me I'm the one who can't be trusted or whatever. So, yeah. But, they end up finding them later, and then they all kind of team up for a bit there. Actually, there's maybe the first use of Metric that I've heard. My favorite band, Metric, or, mine and Emily's favorite band, both. I mean, we both really love Metric. Who wouldn't love Metric, right? Of course Metric is Spider-Gwen's favorite band. So, anyway, Metric, a great band that I love, and Emily loves too. Both, like, this was the first time I'd ever heard of them. So, yeah, they're great. I love them. I've listened to all their albums ever since having seen this movie. I listened to them all right now before doing this review. So, anyway, that's in this movie. That's probably the first time I heard them, Metric. So, but yeah, they're all just like great characters. They all kind of have their own little thing going on. They learn to grow and trust each other by the end. Like, him and Wichita, Columbus and Wichita have like a thing going on. They have like a little romantic thing, and then they're like, it's will they, won't they, until kind of like at the end there when she finally gives in, and they're, it's all good, and he gets to brush the hair over and kiss her and whatnot. But there's a lot of good humor throughout the movie. You know, it's like I said, there's a lot of good comedy, a lot of good action scenes, and then a lot of good horror too, all kind of combined into one. You know, that's what's great about the movie, is it kind of has a little bit of everything and some good emotional stuff. You know, like, you're gonna lose people in Zombieland, and you kind of have to be okay with that and learn to move on from that. But, you know, like, I feel like all of our people are still kind of mourning in a way. But it's also about what you would do in there, not only to survive, but to blow off a little steam, to have some fun. You know, you go enjoy the little things when they're like breaking all the cars and whatnot. And aside from that, they like go to Bill Murray's house and like watch Ghostbusters and stuff, and like pretend to be the Ghostbusters and all that kind of thing. And they're all just hanging out, trying to get along. And it's great. It's a good time. Fighting zombies and whatnot, and surviving, but also trying to enjoy life. Because, like, you know, yeah, there's zombies everywhere, but it's still the United States, and you can still go to some iconic locations. They kind of do that a lot in the second one. They, like, go to the White House and, like, Graceland and stuff. Like, there's not a lot of iconic places they really go in this movie, but I'm just saying, like, you gotta learn to enjoy that, right? You know, enjoy the little things. Like, that's kind of one of the main themes there. And that family is, like, who you find wherever, you know, you connect to people. People you connect to. Those can be your family. A found family kind of thing. I think that's good. All of these broken orphans, you know, like, all of their families have died, and they find a new family to trust, and who can help them kind of get over themselves and learn to just live and be people, you know? So I think the movie does a good job at that, and conveying messages like that. But also, like I said, a lot of good comedy and a lot of good memorable lines and moments in the movie. It's also just a fun movie to watch. There's really no scene that's not like a good scene. There's not like a dragging part of the movie. I feel like it really does good. You know, the whole movie does well. I believe. I feel like. I mean, I think it does a good job. You know, obviously it's a great movie. I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna argue that, right? So, they used to make good movies. Did you know that? Like, they used to make good movies like those back in the day. Like, they don't really do that much anymore. Like, I feel like one of the last great movies, like, that I saw in theaters, well, maybe before, like, all the COVID stuff. Like, afterwards, yeah, like, there was, like, Spider-Verse and stuff. That was a good one. But, like, Zombieland Double Tap, I remember that. Like, that was maybe one of the last ones I saw before, like, COVID hit. Like, I remember Rise of Skywalker, too, was another one. Anyway, yeah. But we're in a different world now, you know? That's what I'm saying. This is, like, the standard of, like, they used to have movies, they used to cast Jesse Eisenberg, and, like, maybe Emma Stone, and you like Woody Harrelson, and it was just great, and it did good, and it went well, and it was hilarious. There used to be comedies like this. I don't know what changed. There was a great video about that I watched, like, more recently, but I just kind of wish it doesn't even necessarily need to be comedies. It's just like, I feel like a lot of the movies they make these days, they feel like it has to be the biggest and the best new thing and blah 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 and all this stuff. And maybe that is what it needs to be, but I feel like we've gone astray a little bit. Like, I feel like there used to be fun movies like this that also taught you things about life and whatnot, you know, like, it made us see life in a way, and I'm not saying this is like a super serious, like, oh my god, these themes, but it's like, yeah, they're nice, you know, for what they are, so. I think all the actors did a good job acting, and the music was good, everything just checks out to be good for a good movie. It's just a fun movie to watch, and you could watch it at any time. It's not necessarily even just like a Halloween movie, it's just like a zombie movie, you know, it's like, remember when we were all obsessed with zombies? Like, that was a big thing for a while there. Like, The Walking Dead and all that shit. Like, now nobody gives a shit about zombies because we overdid it, you know? So, but, I don't know. I think, it's a movie of a different time, a movie of a different era. I like it a lot. I know Emily likes it a lot, too, so, it's fun. It, sticks with you, you know, there's lots of memorable lines, good characters, good characterization of those characters, unique stuff like the list and all of that. I thought that was kind of cool, like, how he's got this list of rules to survive, like, that makes sense, like, people would probably do that, you know, like, but, like, out of all of the people that we got in a zombie apocalypse to, like, watch a movie about, these are the characters I would want to watch the movie about, which I thought, it just works. Everything works together. Everything kind of goes, well, it's not like a super plot-heavy movie, but, like, you're never bored throughout the movie. The pacing is good, I guess is what I'm trying to say by that. And it just works. Everything just works. You do the thing, you do it right, it works. It just works. So, yeah. I love Zombieland. Hopefully, you know, I mean, probably next year I'll get to the sequel there, which is also pretty good. Not as good as the original. I mean, I kind of see this as like one of those classic movies I just kind of put on the side to just watch while I'm, like, playing video games or something. I used to do that, like, all the time. And it's a good one. And I got, you know, Emily will get to the other land movies, you know, like, I'm not going to be here to review them, but, like, Adventureland, you know, and that kind of thing. So, also a Jesse Eisenberg movie, so, yeah. That's it. I've got to go. I've got to get back to my own universe. You know, Universe 0714 there. So, until next time, stick around, subscribe to the Bad Girl Coven. Magic comes from the heart, as Emily would say. And this is Gwen Stacy from a different universe signing out.